You know, coming home from Iraq after serving as a sniper, it was fairly obvious that some of that conflict had to do with fossil fuels and energy needs. As a service member who sacrificed a lot overseas, you know, I thought that we needed to start becoming more responsible on how we use the military, and that meant more responsible energy development here at home.
As a veteran, since I come home, it's now more than 10 years, I realized how energy issues, environmental issues dovetail with veterans issues. These vets, many of them have served because of issues related to our national energy dependence.
All the time I did spend in the military was for, protecting our country, serving, and that's as energy. And to know that now that we're back and we're home, but our government is willing to just kind of throw all of that away is probably just the most disheartening thing.
Here we have $20 million a year worth of natural gas that we're just wasting in the state of Pennsylvania. I mean, that's a huge dishonor to every troop that's serving overseas right now trying to protect our energy resources, especially now when the Pentagon says that climate change is a force multiplier for terrorism. And, it makes sense. The more tragedy and disaster worldwide that we see because of the environment changing, the more conflicts there are going to be and the more response that the U.S. military is going to have. It's funny, we learn a lot about fraud, waste, and abuse is what it's called in the military. I think we generally have the idea that, yeah, we need to conserve and reuse.
You're given 210 rounds, so you don't want to waste any one of those rounds. You're given your MRE and you field strip it. If you don't eat everything, you're holding on to it. So you gotta take that to, the methane, and here we are just wasting it, and just blowing all over into the air when we could actually be capturing that.
I mean, if you're talking about methane that can be burnt, it's ridiculous. It escapes into the air. It does damage. You need to capture that.
In the state of Pennsylvania, again, we have no money for schools. We have no money for our roads or anything. But yet we'll just blow this methane into the air.
My house is heated by gas. Well, if that gas line ruptured, my house is not heated, and that escaping gas isn't good for the environment.
I'd love to get off fossil fuels today, but honestly, we're not going to go cold turkey. We still need to have some sort of bridge between our fossil fuel use for energy and renewable energies. And while that base load is still there, we need to figure out responsible ways to do that, and why not create jobs for veterans while it happens.
We talk about jobs. There are jobs to be created here.
The development of the technology, the creation of the technology, the implementation of the technology, the transportation, the refining of the gas, all is going to be job creators.
Those are jobs for Americans that stay in America. They can't be outsourced.
The issue of the methane escaping into the atmosphere is unconscionable. There should be legislation sponsored to combat that. I don't think they have the guts to confront the voters and say, yeah, this is where I stand. They use other issues to get elected while ignoring this. They see this as a soft issue, which it's not.
The Governor Wolf, can step up in a strong way. He's made some steps in the right direction, but it seems like maybe lacks the political will to follow through on some of those commitments.
He will develop and implement 4 emission reduction measures to focus on both gas production and transmission, requiring efficiency upgrades for equipment, implementation of best practices, and more frequent use of leak sensing technology.
We got to protect the Department of Environmental Protections, and we've got to make sure that we capture this wasted methane gas.
We all served the military, we were on the front lines, and now we're fighting to protect our country internally.
We're veterans, we're standing up for an issue that has too long been ignored. I think this is one of those issues that affects future generations, and we can't forget that.
It's our country. We all need to, whether we serve in the military or not, we need to stand up for our country.
That's why I came here today.